So Dan, the much awaited $25 million podcast girl with Spotify, this is what we're going to get? A little victim fest on, I'm a woman and people don't like my ambition.
In 2022, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, launched her highly anticipated podcast, Archetypes, exclusively on Spotify. The podcast aimed to delve into the labels and stereotypes that often hold women back in society. Each episode featured insightful conversations with a diverse range of influential women, sparking thought-provoking discussions on societal expectations, personal experiences, and the impact of these labels on women's lives.
Oh, Meghan, it was bad. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be bad. It was really bad. And what is most fascinating, I think, about this hour of victimhood from Meghan and Serena is that it actually just shows that these are two of the most out-of-touch women in the world.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. The amount of privilege dripping off of these two women who still want to play the gender card, the race card, sit around and wallow in how they've been unfairly treated. All right. Here's just an example. This is where they're talking about Meghan shares her middle school story about how Immaculate Heart taught her this feminist ideology, which has trickled down into nearly every aspect of her education. Here's her. And by the way, most of the podcast is Meghan Markle talking about herself. Serena's just there as window dressing. Here it is.
This message to me and my classmates was clear. Our futures as young women were limitless. Ambition? Well, that was the whole point. So I don't ever remember personally feeling the negative connotation behind the word ambitious until I started dating my now husband. And apparently ambition is a terrible, terrible thing. For a woman, that is, according to some. So since I felt the negativity behind it, it's really hard to unfeel it. I can't unsee it either in the millions of girls and women who make themselves smaller, so much smaller on a regular basis.
Markle's vision for Archetypes was clear: to create a platform for women to share their stories, challenge preconceived notions, and empower listeners to embrace their authentic selves. The podcast's title itself, Archetypes, hinted at the deeply ingrained societal constructs that it sought to dissect and dismantle. However, the podcast's impactful message has been somewhat overshadowed by recent allegations from former staff members. Several individuals who worked on Archetypes have come forward, alleging a toxic work environment during their time on the project.
Oh my God, Dan. Everything she says is an attempted but failed profundity.
I know. I just feel like I'm sitting in a Southern California coffee shop with two rich wives moaning about how terrible their lives are while about to walk back to their £20 million mansions. Of course, that is what we're dealing with
Yes.
when it comes to Serena and Meghan. But you are right. Meghan is that friend who always wants to steal the thunder. You know, you have that sort of conversation. You're saying, oh, my goodness, you're not going to believe what happened to me today, wanting to have a little bit of empathy, a little bit of sympathy. And Meghan Markle says, oh, my goodness, it happened to me, but it was much worse. And I dealt with it much better, Serena. There were literally moments, Meghan, when Serena manages to utter about 5 words out of her mouth before Meghan steps in. And she also has this very bizarre thing, given she is a princess, and you'd imagine most of the world knows by now that she's pretty damn famous, just to prove to everyone how good friends she is with Serena Williams. This is my dear friend. She told me she was evolving out of tennis because, of course, she didn't retire, did she, Meghan, even though that is exactly what she did do. And so the whole nearly hour-long conversation is about as far removed, I think, from day-to-day life for most people in the world at the moment, because let's be honest, things are pretty tough around the world. And these are two of the most privileged people in the world showing off their victimhood and talking a whole load of Southern Californian mumbo jumbo. And remember, Spotify, which has waited nearly 2 years for this podcast, has paid millions and millions of dollars for the privilege. What a joke.
These claims paint a picture of a demanding and stressful atmosphere, with some former staff members even reporting the need for therapy to cope with the experience. One source, speaking anonymously, described working with Markle as really, really, really awful and very painful. The allegations have raised concerns about the work culture fostered during the podcast production and cast a shadow over the positive message that Archetypes aimed to convey.
Meanwhile, what is she talking about her ambition? A, I see no evidence of her ambition other than to marry well and become a princess. B, I think she's misunderstanding our true sentiments, our recoiling in response to her wokeness while she sits in a palace for something else, for some sort of feminist complaint, right? It's like the only ambition I've seen from Meghan Markle is to marry a prince, which hashtag nailed it. Okay, you got it, girl. People haven't been like, she's so ambitious. She's a climber. We all know that. That's clear. No one's ripping on her like, oh, she wants, to become a world leader and we object to a woman wanting this stuff, right? Like that's not happening. I don't know where this complaint comes from on her behalf.
No, indeed. And actually, Meghan, when you actually look at the history of Ms. Markle, it's not really about professional ambition. It's about financial ambition, and it is about ambition on the social pecking order. Now, I actually make no judgment of that, but I was one of the reporters who broke a lot of stories around Meghan, including Megxit, when her and Harry decided to quit the royal family. So I know a lot about this woman. I know about her background. And what you've got to remember, because this is really still a very untold part of her story, before she met Prince Harry, and she was an actress in this drama suit, so yes, she was doing well, but she wasn't where she wanted to be. She wasn't on the A-list. She actually decided, she set out to find a British man. She had decided that she could become much more famous if she set herself up with a celebrity in the UK.
These recent allegations against Markle are not entirely unfamiliar. They echo previous claims of bullying that surfaced during her time as a senior royal, specifically during her period residing at Kensington Palace. These earlier allegations, which Markle has consistently denied, alleged a pattern of demanding behavior and unreasonable treatment toward staff.
And actually, the celebrities who she was chasing down before she met Prince Harry are probably folk you haven't even heard of, Meghan. It was a guy called Matt Cardle, who won the talent show The X Factor over here. It was a lovely guy called Max George, who's a member of the boy band The Wanted. And it was also a footballer called Ashley Cole. And she pursued all three of these men who, in their own various ways, rejected her advances. And so she just happened to hit the jackpot when it came to Prince Harry. Now, look, that's fine. She was a divorcee. She came to the UK. She wanted to meet a famous bloke. Absolutely fine. But is that really ambition? I don't know. And I think it was a complete rewriting of history to say the reason that the British public turned against Meghan Markle was because of her ambition. It was because of the callous and manipulating way that she treated the Queen and trashed the royal family and claimed that there was a whole load of racists through the country who didn't accept her as a princess, which is just point blank untrue.
Do you ever wonder if your vitamins are working? Clinical studies show that Healthy Cell's new ingestible gel technology called microgel delivers maximum nutrient absorption, 165% more than tablets. It tastes great too. It's hard to make vitamin liquids or gels taste good naturally, but Healthy Cell products are the best tasting pill-free supplements on the market. Go pill-free and get up to 15 pills worth of nutrients in one ultra absorption gel pack, saving you money and time and giving you effective doses in the process. Take a single great tasting gel pack at home or on the go, and it's super great for travel, so you'd love that. And you can mix it into drinks or blend it into smoothies, what have you. Old-fashioned tablets, capsules, and powders contain synthetic other ingredients, such as binding glues, flow agents, don't want to know, fillers, coatings that could irritate your gut, and so on. You don't want it. Plus, it's made in the USA, so Healthy Cell is a good alternative. Go visit healthycell.com/Meghan. All right, that's going to get you the discount. healthycell.com/Meghan, or you can just use that code Meghan when you check out for 20% off your very first order. healthycell.com/Meghan. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.
The re-emergence of such allegations, now in the context of her post-royal life and entrepreneurial ventures, has inevitably fueled further scrutiny of Markle's management style and interpersonal conduct. It has also sparked debate about the validity of the earlier claims, and whether they were, as some supporters argue, part of a broader smear campaign against the Duchess. Despite the controversies, Archetypes enjoyed considerable success during its run. The podcast quickly climbed the Spotify charts, securing the coveted top spot and captivating a global audience. It also garnered critical acclaim, earning a People's Choice Award in 2022, a testament to its impactful content and resonance with listeners. However, in 2023, Spotify and Archewell Audio, the production company co-founded by Markle and Prince Harry, announced their parting of ways. While the exact reasons behind the split remain unclear, reports suggest that Spotify was seeking a higher volume of content output than what Archetypes was delivering. This decision marked the end of Archetypes on Spotify, leaving its future uncertain.